My name is Dr. Michael Cain. I'm a professor of political science at St. Mary's College in Maryland, and I've been here for over 10 years now. Also the director for the Center for the Study of Democracy that really looks at democracy both here in Maryland, St. Mary's County, as well as democracies abroad, and tries to talk about those with our students and have them get a chance to see different themes and problems and benefits of democracies here and abroad.
Okay. And you were in Istanbul at the time that the protests erupted. Can you tell me a little bit about what you were doing there?
So when I was there, I was actually doing research. I happened to go up to Taksim Square for several interviews, really the day they erupted. And there was obviously a lot of traffic, there was a lot of people, and the first day wasn't, there were not as many people as subsequently, but what we found is that lots of police presence, heavy armored vehicles, highly armed and well-armed policemen all over not just Taksim Square, but that region of Istanbul. And at first, that day, this was really a local protest, and the protest was about a plan by the city to remove trees from a park near Taksim Square, and that park was very much beloved by people locally, and it was going to be replaced by a much more kind of perhaps sterile monument type of structure that would honor the Ottomans. And many people there, many activists, were very angry about the idea of losing green space. There's 15 million people in Istanbul. There isn't a lot of green space. There's been a lot of changes in that city. I think people didn't want change to go that rapidly. So once the police responded so vigorously, I think what we found is that what would develop is that I think normal, regular people who cared about the kids out there said, "Hey, that's too much," and I think others started to join them. So the next day, by Saturday, so Thursday and Friday that this happened, while I was there in May, the next day on Saturday when I was there, that's when you saw a much more violent reaction. And what you saw was about then Taksim Square was basically taken over by protesters. There were cars set on fire, and this had morphed into a much more robust demonstration against the government. The government's responses were very negative at first, very forceful, not recognizing that there could well be a legitimate concern on the part of the protesters. And I think what happened was the government exacerbated the protest, not only by the force that they used, but also by the things that they said.
There is a lot of blame being placed in very odd places, I would think. How does the Prime Minister see the role of different groups?
Well, that's a good question. I think that the Prime Minister has tried to place blame for the actions of these protesters on different groups, both inside the countries and outside the country. On the one hand, he's blamed the CHP party, or the minority party that was in power prior to him, who's now a minority party. That's a party that was really ruled Turkey for many, many years, and that party, CHP, really didn't have a lot to do with this. Of course, they probably were pleased that these were going on as they developed, but they really did not instigate these. There's no evidence of that at the time. They probably joined subsequently, but not initially. The other suggestion that the Prime Minister made, that there was outside parties, right, that were involved in this, terrorists, foreign agents. He even said bankers or people that had an interest in seeing Turkey do poorly. That was I think, unfortunate remarks that he made, because I think what he found, what was happening was what happens elsewhere. When there are protests in a country, uh, investors get concerned, they, withdraw their money, and this had an effect on the Turkish currency. It also had an effect on the Turkish stock exchange. Absolutely crucial in some ways that this society succeed, to show itself as a model for the region, to show that it is possible to have democracy within Islamic societies. I think that's for that reason, uh, Turkey is a tremendously important country, and I think in some ways the protests are not so bad. They're an expression of civil society. As long as they remain peaceful, and it appears that every reason that they are, if the government can sort of figure out ways to engage the protesters, this will be healthy for the country. This will be a growing experience. So it's potentially a good thing for the country. Let's hope it turns out well. There's been people harmed. There's been people injured. Let's hope that they can get through this and they get over this and find a way to continue what I think is a robust democracy in the Middle East.